Hello, friend. You're listening to the Bible Tract Echoes radio broadcast. I'm Michael McCurry, your host, and it's my privilege to introduce you to a very special week here on Bible Tract Echoes. Now, I know I say it's a special week almost every single week, but this week most definitely is. I'm joined in the studio, and in just a few moments, behind the microphone will be two young ladies. Over my shoulders, those of you that are watching the video version on YouTube or Facebook, you may notice some guests that I've included in today's broadcast. Over my right shoulder here, who's that back there? Who are you?
Emmy Jane.
Emmy Jane, she says. We'll get her up close to the microphone in just a moment. And who are you back there?
Lucy.
Lucy. Girls, would you like to come be on camera and on microphone? Come here. All right, we have here, come here, girlie. This is Emmy Jane. Come here, Lucy.
I'm in kindergarten.
Oh, you're starting right off the bat. You're in the kindergarten. Hold on.
I'm not in kindergarten. And I'm
All right, hold on, girls. Okay, let's start. Hold on. Let's start with Miss Emmy. So, how old are you, Miss Emmy?
5.
5. Miss Lucy, how old are you? 3. Hold it up right here. Let me see, how many? 3? All right, and then Miss Emmy, you started kindergarten pretty recently. How are you enjoying that? Is that a good time so far? Yeah, she's enjoying that. Very good.
Because if I fill a row up of stickers on a chart, I get to have a prize from her Mrs. Bryant's treasure chest.
Mrs. Bryant is your teacher, isn't she? Yeah, Miss Lucy. Now, you were a little bothered on Emmy's first day of school, weren't you? I think you were a little perturbed and a little bothered by the situation. What did you do the first day that Miss Emmy went to school? What did you do?
Stay with Mommy at home.
You stayed with Mommy at home, but what did you do when Emmy went into the school? What did you do?
When I put those on as a baby.
Yeah, but you cried a little bit, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, you were so sad. Hold on, Emmy. Just wait 1 second.
Emmy.
These girls
Emmy.
probably take after their father in that they like to talk. Do you guys like to talk?
Yeah, I need to tell Dad something.
You need to tell me something? Is it something that all of those people can hear? You think so?
I think we should do tracts today where Lucy and me pick out the tracts and you do the name of the tract.
You know what? We are going to do that tomorrow on the broadcast, okay? Well, actually, for those of you that are listening, it'll be tomorrow. For these girls, they can't wait quite that long. So for them, it'll be in just a few minutes. What are you doing, Lucy? Talking, I see that. Well, in just a moment, we're going to say goodbye to these girls for today, and we're going to welcome them back into the studio tomorrow. Now, Miss Emmy, you're in school. You're learning all sorts of things. You're very smart, or so your teacher says. And so what is one thing, before we sign off for today, with the girls at least, I'll be coming back to you in just a moment, what is one thing that you would like to share with all of our viewers and listeners at home?
When at school, I learned this song. The monkey, the ape, was out of shape because it ate and ate and ate and ate.
That sounds like a good song. I haven't heard that song before. You have to teach me that one later. Miss Lucy, I know you're not in school yet, but you're pretty smart, aren't you? Yeah? What would you like to tell everybody that's listening right now? Miss Lucy's thinking about it. And Miss Emmy, you have something to tell me? We'll tell you. You can tell me in just a second. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to snap our fingers. Can we all hold on. We're going to snap our fingers, and you guys are going to disappear from the broadcast. And then Daddy's going to come back, and we're going to finish up for today. But you guys are going to come back tomorrow. Does that sound good? No, you don't want to come back tomorrow? You want to stay here now? Well, how about this? Let's try to snap our fingers. Can we all do that? Can you snap, Lucy? Mm-hmm. Go ahead and snap. Emmy, you snap. Let me see your snaps. She's so sad. She thinks she actually has to come back tomorrow. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey friend, welcome back to this broadcast. As you will hear or not hear, my daughters are no longer in studio with me. They have exited the premises. I'm very thankful for you giving me the liberty to talk with them for a few minutes today, and I'm excited about them joining us tomorrow. Tomorrow on the broadcast, they're going to spend a little bit of time picking out some gospel tracts for us to talk about. You say, gospel tracts, what does that have to do with this radio broadcast? Well, for the uninitiated, let me bring you up to speed. Bible Tract Echoes was started back in 1957, 1958 by the founder of this radio broadcast and the founder of this ministry. His name was Dr. Paul Levine. Of course, Dr. Paul founded a ministry called Bible Tracts Incorporated. That's the foundational ministry of this radio program. And BTI, Bible Tracts Inc., was started all the way back in 1938 with the mission of printing gospel tracts and the fact that no gospel worker, people just like you, should not go for want of the tools they need to evangelize the lost. I'm so excited about our ministry and what God has allowed us to do. Let me, for just a few moments, bring you up to speed on what's upcoming. Of course, my calendar as an evangelist and as the director and as the representative for Bible Tracts Incorporated is very full. I will be, in just a few days, I will be in Florida, I'll be in Wisconsin, I'll be in West Virginia, I'll be in Ohio. I'll be, of course, in Illinois multiple times. I think we crossed the border over into Iowa at least once. And then, as we get closer to the holidays, Lord willing, we'll be spending some time with our families as well. I'm so privileged by the fact that I get to direct this ministry and I get to speak to people just like you. And as we're talking about these updates about Bible Tracts Incorporated, let me encourage you to pray for our ministry. Later on this week, we are going to be hearing from the founder of our ministry. Many of you have commented recently, I actually just heard from someone else recently, how much they enjoy hearing the preaching of our founder, Dr. Paul Levine. Now, you'll realize that Dr. Paul went to be with the Lord in 1996. That was a little bit before my time with Bible Tracts Incorporated, but I'm so glad to stand on the shoulders of a man of God like him, a giant of the faith like he was. And I'm thankful for the fact that I get to be a small part, a small gear, a small cog in the machine that is Bible Tracts. And now for over 8 decades, we've been printing, distributing, and producing gospel tracts, putting them around the world free of charge. And I'm excited for tomorrow. As I mentioned, we'll be talking to my young ladies, talking to Emmy and Lucy, and we'll be talking about, I think, 4 different gospel tracts, about the gospel tracts that they like, and telling you about how you can order some of our gospel tracts. If by some chance you're not able to listen in tomorrow, you can go to our website, BibleTractsInc.org, and you can order some of our gospel tracts. You can actually order a sample booklet. It contains a few of our favorite gospel tracts, as well as a description and an introduction to every single gospel tract that we currently produce. I'm so looking forward to what God does with and through the ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated. And as we continue on with the update about what God is doing and will be doing with our ministry, I told you a little bit about our travel schedule. On that note, if you are a member of a church or you're a pastor of a church and you would like me to come by and tell your ministry, tell your people, tell your church about Bible Tracts Incorporated, I'd love to do that. Realize, though, more important than coming to you to represent our ministry is my desire to see people like you use gospel tracts. If I leave a church and maybe they've decided to take the ministry of BTI on for financial support, of course, that's always a joy. That's a huge blessing. People that invest in our ministry, we greatly appreciate that. But to me, more important than that, there are 2 main things that are more important than that. Number 1 is that people like you, people in your church, that you would use gospel tracts. More than your money, I'm interested in you having a heart for the gospel. And then secondly, our desire is that people would pray for Bible Tracts Incorporated. Realize we have multiple efforts going on right now, one of which in a very dark part of the world called Myanmar. It's known as Old Burma. That country is dealing with despotic military dictatorship. Some democratic activists were actually murdered, were executed by the well, how should I say it, by the unjust government. Realized there was a democratically elected leader, and the military came in and deposed the democratically elected leader. And unfortunately, the people are the ones that are suffering, of course, and people are being dragged out of their homes and torched alive in the streets, and it's just absolutely appalling. But realize the need for the gospel is greater today than it was yesterday, not just in Myanmar, but also right here in the US of A. Why is that? Why is the need for the gospel greater today than it was yesterday? Because Christ's coming is closer today than it was yesterday, and that's what we try to do at Bible Tracts Incorporated. Our desire is to keep eternity in view and to remind you through this radio program how needful it is that we all use gospel tracts. If you are listening right now and you don't routinely use gospel tracts, let me encourage you to maybe make that part of your practice. Go to BibleTractsInc.org today. Now, if you have a question for me, a comment, criticism, a concern, if you'd like to talk to me directly, you can actually do so by texting me. You can text me at this phone number. Also, if you're planning on coming to our grand opening on Saturday, October 1st, we'd love to see you there right here in the building I'm sitting in right now as I'm talking to you. We'd love to hear from you. You can text me to let me know, but you can also text in a question. Here's the phone number, 309-316-7240. That's 309-316-7240. Now remember, here's the schedule for this week. Tomorrow, my girls will be on for the entirety of the radio broadcast. I hope that's okay. I hope we have a good time together. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we will be hearing from none other than Dr. Paul Levine. I'm so excited about the fact that we get to hear from him. He's going to bring a phenomenal gospel message. Might be a time for you to get a friend to listen into the broadcast as well, because he's going to bring the gospel in a powerful way. In a way that even though it was a message that was recorded many years ago, a way that is still very powerful, a way that is still very pertinent for you and me today. If you're under the sound of my voice and you don't know Christ, please listen in to Bible Tract Echoes all this week. To all of our radio partners, all the platforms that this broadcast is playing on right now, thank you so very much to the secretaries and the directors and the radio hosts and all those folks that make this possible. We're very thankful for you. And, of course, to all of our listeners. My prayer today is very simple. My prayer is that you have a great day for His glory, and maybe, just maybe, that you tune in tomorrow for more from Emmy and Lucy. Have a great day for His glory, and God bless.